Yes, and we're back with a Monday evening Celtic Unrestricted View. How are we, you lovely people? Bet you're all wondering what's going on here. Why is JP sitting himself? Well, you should all know by now, I'm getting used to this. And I'd do anything to bring some content to you guys, even though the rest of them just want to skive. No, I'm only kidding. Ryan's stuck on a day job, and Big Aaron's still sunning his backside off here in Tenerife. Probably not now right enough because it'll be dark earlier now, but it has been. But yous have got me to annoy yous. Um, I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing for yous. And yous can decide, guys, in the comments, okay? Yous can let me know what yous are feeling. Um, Before I go any further, I just want to say I hope everybody that's joining in and watching us just now, I hope everyone has had a great weekend. Well, some of the weekend up until obviously what we're going to go on and talk about tonight. But overall, hope everybody's well. Are we all looking forward to Christmas, folks? It's 2 weeks right now. We'll probably all, well, the majority of us, I'm assuming, would be sitting with someone celebrating Christmas evening. Maybe just after dinner and just getting ready to get the after eights and maybe desserts or whatever. Um, you know, so let me know what you are thinking in the comments about that one, folks, about Christmas. Because I'm feeling very festive. I think the recent week I've just had with the kids, especially like we've done breakfast with Santa. We've done that at Celtic Park a week ago on Saturday. That was very good, very very good. I'd recommend that to anybody actually who's looking to do it either with your grandkids, your kids, or just your family. It's a great experience. It's value for money, and it's a fun day out. The DJ does his best as well to get everybody up to dance. So yeah, it's quite good. Um, but yeah, let us know how you all are. As I said, I hope you have all had a nice wee weekend. I had a great weekend. I was away for a wee spa break with the missus, so it was fantastic. Away on Saturday into Sunday, so yeah, it was quite an eventful weekend for myself. But up until yesterday and that result. But we'll go into that in a couple of minutes. Couple of wee comments coming in. Evening, boys. Um, you've not calmed down yet since watching that absolute mince yesterday, Francis. I've never seen such a lack of desire to go and fight and win a game of football, and which we were in total control of at the beginning. Yeah, obviously we're going to come to that one, Francis. And Jem joining us also. Evening, JP and Francis. Good evening, and Jem. I hope you're well. Hail to yourself, Mark. Cheers for joining us, pal. Tom, Mac. Cheers for joining us. And Jem, you want to know if I've lost my razor? No, I haven't. I have not lost my razor. This, I'm afraid, is my little winter coat. That's that's gracing us with its presence, and I'm afraid for the time being, it's here to stay. So, yeah. Oh no, no Christmas patter. Um, Sorry, Mark. Maybe it's not for everybody. I just thought I would share with you my little thoughts in terms of Christmas and what's round the corner for us. Joseph Agnew, hail, hail, mate. Hope you've had a nice weekend. Good you're back on. Thank you, Joseph. Um, I'm always committed to the cause if I'm physically well enough to do it. You've probably gathered that by now. So, yeah, mate, it's good to see you as well, mate. I hope you're well. Plunge, evening JP. Sorry I missed the show on Thursday. I noticed you didn't miss me, never mind. I think there was one or two comments, mate, being asked where you were, but I just assumed you'd be eating your cold beans somewhere, mate. I kind of, I just didn't say anything about it, mate. No, not well, not quite, Francis, not quite. Certainly was something along those lines, yeah, mate, but not quite, not quite. It's the wrong colour to be auditioning for Santa, JP. Yeah, I know, Ange, but if I leave it long enough, I might get that part next year. Who knows? I've never had, for anybody that's wondered, I've always been clean shaven. I've always been a clean shaven type guy. I've actually never had any stubble. And I was having a chat at the weekend with my missus, and I said, "Do you know what?" I says, just see for once, just to see what it's going to look like. I said, I'm going to let this grow, and then the next, maybe not this time, but the time after, the next time I go to my barber, I'm going to ask him to kind of shape it for me and put it into some sort of formation. Um, but we'll see how we go. We'll see how it goes. I've not fully kind of doubled down on that idea yet, but it's definitely an idea for me because I've never had stubble. There's a wee skiver there. Evening all. We need more than a winter coat, more bleach. Me man's ran out of Domestos. If anybody's got any Domestos handy, can you please get in contact with my good man Ryan because he's ran out. He was raging yesterday because he drank his last dreg of it. That's how I'm not here. I'm indulging too much yesterday. No, wee man, you're not here because that person that's owning that house that you're locked in has now come back for a long leave of absence and probably stuck you in that cupboard that you keep showing us on your wee mirror that people thought it was a telly. Uh, Evening, Barry. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you had a nice weekend, apart from yesterday, but we'll get to that, don't worry. Joseph, you have to go, you can go onto Celtic's website, mate. But what I will say to you, mate, is if you want to do it, you need to do it around about January, February, maybe even March. It needs to be done early in the year, mate. These tickets go like hotcakes. So something like that needs to get done early. You can go onto Celtic's website and you just look for it. I think you can actually search it and you just look for it. And if not, you can contact the club directly on the line and just ask to speak to reception, and they'll put you in the right path as to what you have to do, mate. Get a barber to cut your head off. That'll save you a lot of hassle and money. Um, I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or a um a digger. No, we'll be having a chat. I think me and Ryan will need to have a chat about your conduct tonight, Anjem, and we'll find out whether you remain within the group or not. I don't know how to take that message. To be fair, still a bit sore for yesterday. To be fair, um, Ryan currently gaffer. Aye, that's how he's. That's how he's. There's no half ten show, by the way. Honestly, that's how he's known tonight either. Um, no problem, mate. Not a problem. Hope you can get something sorted for next year. As I said, mate, it's a great family day out, and there's more than one sitting as well, so it runs for a couple of weeks. It's obviously on a non-match day as well, Joseph. Or Celtic are always not at home, if that makes sense when they do it, because that would just be carnage if Celtic were at home. I would imagine, mate. Barry boy, JP, let it grow. Who else thinks on here, guys, that I should let my facial hair grow? Let us know what you think in the comments. We'll actually maybe put a wee poll up and see if we can get this done. Ryan, I think that'd be a good idea, mate. Moving forward, I think we can get a wee poll done. See who thinks I should keep my beard or get it chopped off. Could turn that into a Christmas song, Barry, couldn't you? Instead of let it snow. Let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. Ah, dear. Listen, got to keep myself happy, folks. Because yesterday was a soaring. And let's go on to the topic that I kind of was trying to not go on to straight away, if that makes sense. Here's my thoughts on the banner that you can see, folks. I thought Celtic were bullied. Um, Certain players showed in over the last couple of games. I don't think they're up to the task. I'll go through those with my thoughts. You can give me your thoughts in the comments as well. And then obviously we'll at the end we'll maybe have a wee chat about January and do you think it's a massive window or not? Uh, Shave it off and give it to me for my receding hairline. I thought you were going to Turkey. I thought you were headed over to Turkey. Big Alan's usually you hear people doing fag runs. Big Alan does a Celtic tap run. You tell him to get you vouchers or something. Tell him to get you vouchers. He'll get you sorted, mate. Don't worry. He'll know a guy that knows a guy that's Budgie's da or something like that. Know what I mean? Eh, yes. That's it, mate. That's it. No, that's it. I've got a wee bit of growing to go first, mate. I have. I've not got a cat. Otherwise, I'd have put milk on it and let the cat lick it off for me. Eh, but yeah, folks. Again, guys, as I'm chatting, you can feel free to throw your comments in the section, and I'll get your comments up and your thoughts about yesterday. I'm going to give you my early thoughts and how I thought the game panned out for us. First half, I thought we were fine. I thought we had a lot of impetus. I thought we had the ball. We dominated. I know Kilmarnock had a couple of chances. We actually went up the park and scored off the back of, I think it was Danny Armstrong's first chance. Came off the sort of stanchion back to the post and came back out of me. Usually our luck, it goes in. But the Angels at that point were with us then, I think. And it came out. And then obviously Celtic get possession and string a few passes together. And then they got up the park and score. And it comes off the back of Callum McGregor's nice wee feint and sending 3 of the Kilmarnock players for chips and gravy as he done it, which I thought was outstanding. Nice wee feint, turn, shoot. And Matt O'Reilly, a guy that's currently on form for us just now, pops up with a goal. And you think to yourself, right, okay, we've got the foothold in the game now. You kind of always felt that Kilmarnock were going to have a spell because they were going to have to change tactic. Their tactic was to sit in the first half and try and counter on us using Danny Armstrong and Matty Kennedy and stuff to get up the park. I actually thought the big boy Vassell was quite disappointing. I thought Big Phillips done very. This is my thoughts on this one, folks, as well. I know people are saying, get him ready and, get shot of him. I actually thought he did pretty well up until his mistake in the game. I thought he was winning his duels. I thought he headed the ball really well. I thought his distribution was good in the first half. But then again, so was the rest of the team. When we, just as you're saying there, Francis, I actually thought the boy Kenny, the goalkeeper for Aberdeen, I thought he kept the scoreline down big time for them. He put off, I think it was about 5 or 6 saves in the first half. So Celtic, at that time could have probably looked a bit more comfortable. But again, we were pretty wasteful with some of the other chances that we did have. And then obviously they got at half time and they just came out like a team that didn't know each other, in my opinion. They lost every bit of impetus they had. They stopped running. They showed no desire. Kilmarnock were able to change tactics. They then went with a 4-4-2 and came right up against us. They forced us to play their game, which was physical. They came up in our faces. They closed us down at pace. They, they just outfought us. They outran us. Celtic players were jogging back. We went back to the first half in St Johnstone again yesterday. It was like a total reverse. And I thought, I thought it was pretty doom and gloom after that. But in saying that, I think just now, I think we need to bring a bit of perspective back to things as well, folks. I've seen a lot of nonsense on social media and I've seen people maybe overreacting slightly in certain things that they're saying. I've had text messages as well saying that they don't think the manager's good enough and certain things are this and that. But I think a bit of perspective needs to come back in. It's the first defeat of the season, albeit performances have been nowhere near where this team set the bar themselves. Or should I say the core nucleus of the group set the bar themselves high last season and delivering the treble. But it just shows you how hard it is to maintain that level, folks. That unfortunately, when you lose quality in guys like Abada, Hatate, and Maeda, it does make a massive difference. And unfortunately, right now, folks, the guys that are coming in to, coming in and trying to do the job just aren't there. They're not providing the quality that's, again, it's been set by the guys that are injured. I'll go to another couple of comments. I warned from last week about Phillips, and I was gutted to be proved totally correct. I can understand people's thoughts. You know, overall, and in terms of especially the second half performance, that was alarming. That was alarming. Yesterday was a disgrace. It was that bad. I had to get drunk and end up having a ding dong with that mob online. It's probably one of the worst things you could do, plunge, to be honest, um, because I think, again, bringing perspective back to things like that, mate. Any one of them trying to slag us is more or less like a homeless guy trying to slag your curtains. That's how relevant that is. That's the best analogy I could probably use for that, to be honest. I think the warnings were there in the first half, JP, missing sitters, getting out of jail. Sometimes you need a bit of luck, Francis. Sometimes you need that wee bit of luck sometimes, mate. And teams like, I'm going to be honest, I was really shocked we got away with Alistair Johnson's penalty shout. I know people are going to say it was never a penalty. I'm just saying the luck we've had with VAR. I really do think that, you know, I really think that we were lucky that they never went to VAR with that one, and we could have been dealt another hand there. So I think I think we did get away with one. Not to say that I think it was a penalty, because I don't. But I do think we kind of got away with one there, because for me that's similar to the Burnaby handball at Celtic Park when it was given against him, or the Matt O'Reilly handball, the one the ball comes up and bounces off him. Nothing you can do about it, but those penalties were given. So that's my chain of thought on that. Barry Boy, feels like a role reverse on Angie's first season, how he was behind, then won a cup and overtook them. I don't think it's quite the same, Baz. I'm being honest with you, mate. I don't think it's anywhere near the same, to be honest. I think this Celtic team are just lacking a wee bit of consistency. If you remember Angie's first season, mate, we had a wobble around the festive period as well. And he brought in some players in January, which turned out to be Hatate, Maeda, Gucci, and Matt O'Reilly. And we went on and won. We went on and coasted the league. So I don't think it's similar. Yeah, Chris, I think he did, mate. That's what I'm saying at the beginning, or earlier on there. I said I thought he was. I actually thought he was outstanding in the first half. I thought he won all his duels. He was winning tackles. He was winning headers. And yeah, I think after his mistake, his head just goes, man. But listen, when you play for Celtic, you can't have that mentality. You need to have that sort of winners mentality, as in, right, okay, it was just a mistake. Let's get going. Let's get going again. We dust ourselves off. We go again. Don't think we saw that, Chris. I think we saw a player drastically going into his shell. And I think that was, that was alarming. Uh, Ryan, some top refs said it was never a pit. No, I mean, that's fine. Can you understand my thoughts though, mate, in terms of the way the VAR has worked for us, even in Europe? You know, the threshold is so low. It's it's kind of, we've not had the rubbery green with it, and I'm just trying to say that I think, you know, with the way the VAR worked, I think we might have got away with one yesterday. With Celtic having injuries, the squad players not good. Yeah, Vincent, you could probably argue that, mate. You could probably say that, some of the guys are too many projects in the team. The quality just isn't there yet. And we've said it on here millions of times, mate. Celtic aren't a team that can just sit and we can't just sit idle and wait for people to be good enough. We need people just now. I'll tell you another thing, folks, and you can let me know your thoughts on this. I actually think it's criminal that Brendan Rodgers has left Celtic's talisman on the bench for the last two games. I really do. I really think it's criminal. Now, people are going to say to me, JP Big O's played well. He has. But yesterday, during his the you know the chances that he had and he missed, there's some naivety still in his play, folks. You know that he's just not. Put it this way, he's not a man to come in and replace Kyogo if anything happens to Kyogo longer term. There's still elements in his game that he needs to develop, and he's not quite there. And again, guys, it all comes down to Celtic can't just sit idle and wait for that to happen. We can't carry passengers. We just can't do it. We're no in the business. We're too big a club for it to happen. So we're far too big a club for any nonsense. So we need to alter that and do it quickly. Warning signs have been there all season. Scraped a win at home to St Mirren. Drew at home to St Johnstone and Motherwell. Hibs away. The only time we click is when Atati is in the team. Yeah, you could maybe argue that. Um, although he wasn't in the team when we took 6 off Aberdeen. There has been games where we've scored. He wasn't in the team on Wednesday night past when we beat Hibs 4-1 at Parkhead. There has been games where we have scored heavily. I think we took 4 or 5 off Kilmarnock at home as well, didn't we? And who else did we beat? We sure it was 4 or 5 as well. I can't mind. It's went now. I had it right there and it's gone now. But yeah, you could argue that Hatati's a massive loss to the team, mate. Again, on here, I don't know how often Belfast Celtic you tune into the pod, mate, but we have said on here for some time there has been players in the team that just haven't come in and cemented their place. You know, they've all had a shot. Bernardo seems to be getting fancied in Europe, which is crazy because he isn't getting tried in games in the league. So how can you be good enough to play in the Champions League and you're not getting near the team domestically? That to me is baffling. I'm also going to pick up on the point, folks, that um, I think I'd be asking questions if I was in the squad of Cameron Carter Vickers. Also, this becoming quite worrying. We paid £6 million for a guy who can't seem to play on an AstroTurf surface, and that's mental. He's never. I don't think he's played once. On Kilmarnock's pitch in his time in Scotland. If I'm wrong, someone please let me know. But I find it quite worrying that um, you know, we've paid that amount of money and he can't play in that surface. That to me is alarming. I'd be asking questions as to why. Maestro, good evening, pal. We lost our shape in the second half. The manner of defeat was sore. It certainly was, mate. Yeah, it certainly was, especially when in a leading position. And then you come out of that and you've lost a game 2-1 to a team that should never, ever be beating you when you're on top. Yeah, it was alarming. Thought Big Alan was in Tenerife. He is in Tenerife, mate. Yeah, Big Alan's in Tenerife just now. Do you agree with McInnes saying he's got yous rattled? Oh no, man. Is that what he said in his interview? Right, okay. I'll be honest with you, I never seen his interview. I try not to listen to what Derek McInnes says, Ange. Um, if Derek McInnes told me what day of the week it was, I think I'd need to look up on my phone's calendar or teletext or going by the day's paper or something like that to find out if he's been truthful or not. He tells me lies and probably the biggest liar in the world does. Um, this is a guy, you're talking about a guy here who's a Kilmarnock manager and yet he's on TNT Sports punditting at Rangers games, calling people's son in the Rangers squad, saying, "How you doing, mate?" to the Rangers manager. You can't take this guy seriously. No, I think the only thing that's rattled there is McInnes' water bottle. Let's be honest, he doesn't beat us often. So I'm not too sure I agree with him there. Because we beat them at Parkhead. We took 4 off them at Celtic Park this season. So no, I think aye, okay. By the way, Kilmarnock played well. They deserved to win the game yesterday. But they deserved to win the game because they were better than us on the day. Not because they're a better side overall. The reason why Celtic don't lose many games is because these teams find it very difficult to beat us. And when they do, it's once in a blue moon. So it's listen, he's high in confidence. I think they, they beat Aberdeen recently as well, up at Pittodrie. So they're on a wee run of games now. And that was a great victory from yesterday. But no, McInnes is I wouldn't be reading into too much of what he says there. Um, Bernardo must have it written in a deal to play European games. You could argue that. Yeah, there's something no right in it, Mick, to be fair with you, mate, because I don't see why he plays in European games, but doesn't he play um, in the domestic games? And it must be the same for Nat Phillips, because we must be in a very, very hard position at the moment if we've paid nearly £8 million for 2 centre-backs, and they're watching a guy who only a couple of years ago played for Shamrock Rovers playing before them. Now, listen, I'm no downing Liam Scales. I'm not trying to say that he's a bad player or anything at all, folks. But as a business sense, that shouldn't be happening. That should not be happening at all. We should be, when we pay nearly £8 million for guys, they should be coming right into the team. Because as a Celtic fan and a season book holder, I'm looking for that. I'm looking for them to come straight into the side. I don't want them to sit on the bench and again starting developing. And you paid nearly £4 million for a guy and 3.5 for the other. So I think it's, yeah, I think it's one to look into because we must be in a bad way if they two can't get a game over Nat Phillips, because that to me would be worrying, especially in Matt's recent cameos and appearances for Celtic. Evening JP, there has been 2 mediocre performances from the team lately, playing like schoolboys. I think we need to strengthen big time in the transfer market. Hail, hail. Thanks, John. Yeah, I think certain fans, John, would argue that these performances aren't just recent. You know, we have struggled in games as well this season. There is no doubt, listen, there is absolutely no doubt that we need to strengthen because the bench we have at the moment, when the first team players maybe aren't available or, have maybe ran their course in the game, is definitely weaker now than what it was maybe just say under Big Ange. Um, you know, you had at one point in the team, mate, you had players like Juranovic coming on for Alistair Johnston. No got that now. You had Abada coming on for Jota and Maeda coming on for Abada, and changes like that happening, and we don't have that now. Askabanovic is another one that contributed to the treble last season as well. Unfortunately, he's not made the grade either for other reasons. So some players are advised not to play on Astro, especially with knee problems, as part tissue. Same with Jozo. Uh, Ryan, I'm being honest, mate. I think it's mental. I really do, mate. If you're fit enough to play football, mate, you're fit enough to play. It doesn't matter where it is, mate. It doesn't matter if it's concrete, Astro grass, red ash. Doesn't matter, mate. Honestly, I've never heard something stranger recently in football, mate. I really haven't. Um, and when you're paying £6 million for a guy, mate, you're expecting him to be able to play on all surfaces, regardless of your weather or whatever else is here. Maybe that's just me. Maybe again, maybe I've got high expectations here, but I really do think, um, yeah, I really think he should be ready to play, regardless of, like I say, where he is and his surroundings. Excuse me, folks. Had a wee bit of a long day, should I say. John, good evening, mate. Hope you're well. Yeah, mate, listen, I'm not even downing the manager at all. Listen, I'm not downing Brendan at all. He does have to shoulder some blame, though, because it's whatever he's doing in terms of the way he's asking the team to play, he's not getting the best out of certain individuals. In my opinion, Kyogo's not playing to his advantage. He's not playing to his strengths. He's asking Kyogo to do a different role, which is probably why, guys, we've seen Kyogo drop out the team the last couple of games, because Brendan is looking for this kind of guy to back into a defender and hold up the ball, who's technically gifted to lay the ball onto midfield for runners to get on the end of the pass. And but what I will say, John, Brendan does have to take the blame for playing guys who just aren't good enough. They're not good enough. Like, you could probably argue Mikey Johnson. He's 24 now. He's been there 5, 6 years, run about the fringes of the first team. He's never been good enough to cement a place. Why now, all of a sudden, is he going to be good enough now? And again, that's me no down in Mikey. I'm just asking a question there. Why all of a sudden now is he the man to do it? And the performance is just on the air. It's not happening. So Brendan's got to answer those questions. He's got to, you know, he's been honest enough, and he's not blaming it on injuries or anything. He's not saying about injuries, John. But I do think Brendan needs to shoulder some of the blame, because yeah, I really think that he's he's certainly changed some stuff in the squad, and I don't actually know if the players are happy about it. Some of their body language to me is a bit off in terms of their duties and what they're supposed to do. Let me know your thoughts, John, if you're still watching, mate. Let me know your thoughts on what I've just said. Sorry, folks, just get a wee drink here with my petrol can. Need big signings in January, JP. Narowski was on the bench. Why was Phillips in before him? I do not know, Kevin. You would probably need to ask Brendan that question, mate. Again, it could be what Baz and one or two others was talking about earlier. There could be clauses in the contracts, because he's a loan signing and he's got to play a certain percentage. But I think when you pay £4 million for a guy who, in my opinion, was coming in to replace Carol Starfelt at the time, before we continued to get injuries, including himself. Um, then he was coming into play beside Cameron Carter-Vickers, and he's not been seen since. So yeah, again, that's another question for Brendan. Yeah, he probably will. Under under a glass Metropolis. That's a name and a half. Welcome to the show. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining in, mate. Phillips can't start another game. Thought I seen Rocky's name the bench. He was in the bench, mate. Yep, he was. But yeah, I think it's baffling. I think we can all agree. Plunge, you're saying there's nobody else. Who do you mean? Um, what are you meaning there about nobody else? Nobody else for who or for what? They went for us, wide men pushing up, pulling centre back. So yep, yeah, that's it. They made us play their game, Maestro. Um, what I felt they did was they came right up against us, and they got in my faces, and they forced us to play long balls and chip balls long, and constantly looking for Big O with his chest and other things as well. Johnston, yeah, but you could argue that. But what I'm saying is that was the example there of the differences in squad. And surely, I mean, that's got to be down to recruitment. Plunge. Excuse me. That's got to be down to recruitment. That's between the manager and recruitment to get that sorted. Um, and yeah, and I think he will. I think he will. I do think he will. I agree, JP. Players don't look happy. Is it the style? Mikey's an impact player at best. Yeah, I would think, I, I would. I'm only looking from the outside, trying to. I suppose what we're trying to do is we're trying to post-mortem these performances. I think that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get to the bottom is why these performances happen. And it could be just as simple as they're going through a spell just now where they're just not able to hit form and do it consistently. Because that's what it seems. It seems to be they're playing really good first half or second half, and they're not as good as the following half or the half before or whatever it is. So I think it's consistency. Um, and I do think there's a drop in quality in the squad without the boys that I mentioned earlier, Abada, Maeda, and Tatati. The next two guys, go-to guys, just for me, just on the rare. I think Francis, to be fair, I had a chat with Ryan about this actually. I think he's kind of cheesed off a wee bit, mate. I think whatever he was told in the summer when he came back, or whatever he was promised in the summer to get him back, it's not worked out the way he probably envisaged, and he has, you know, been dealt a bit of a raw deal there for me. Um, if he was told in an interview that he was going to have 4 or 5 different project signings coming in and going to have to work with that to take into a Champions League campaign, I'm not too sure, mate, he'd have jumped at the job. Um, that's interesting. That would be interesting, actually, to find that out, because for me personally, I know I would have my doubts in terms of taking back the job again. And we're lucky to have a guy like Brendan Rodgers representing us, by the way. So you need to stick by him. And if you don't stick by him and give him the tools, because like I says, mate, you can't send him into Europe. It's like sending a guy into war with a what? It's just not going to work. I mean, you send him in not armed properly, he's always going to be doomed and always going to fail. So I think if you don't back someone like Brendan, I think you're going to lose him. I think you could potentially lose a guy. And we don't want to begin doing that road. We really don't. We don't really want to begin doing that road. I actually think he's a better shout than Mikey Johnson. There you go. And that, maybe I'm being crazy here, but I can see something in Yang. I know a lot of people are probably writing the boy off now. I definitely see something in him. I would actually like to see Yang playing on the left hand side, cutting in on his right. I definitely see something in him. I've spoke to Ryan about it. I've spoke to Big Alan about it. I spoke to Barry Bannon about it. And Barry Bannon agrees with me, by the way. He agrees with me in terms of the, uh, you know, that thought in terms of Yang. I think Yang would be a better shout, to be honest. I think if he's played over a period of time, it's only obvious he's going to get better. He's already became a better player since joining Celtic. His stats show that as well. I know that sounds mental, folks, but honestly, it does, and it is reality. He has got better. He's become a better player playing, and he's been forced into playing a higher level as well than anything he's ever played at before. Rodgers should have the balls to tell us what's happening regarding what he was promised. He's never going to do that. Let's be honest. I mean, he's never ever going to do that. And again, that would be like him wanting to ask you a really, really personal question about your personal life. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's just one of those things. It's just things are kept private. That's why the meetings are taking place indoors, somewhere locked away, where even journalists don't get into. So Palmer has been poor as well. How the hell does he think he'll ever be as good? Be interesting to know when he's ever thought he was going to be good for a big Spanish team. I've never heard them come out and say that, to be honest, personally. If anybody else here even has, let me know, but I've never heard them saying that. And Palmer wasn't at it yesterday, granted. But I defo, um, Palmer's a belter. So he's been absolutely unreal up until now. His contribution to the team so far has been really good in terms of assists and goals. His delivery's some of the best delivery I've seen. So even yesterday, he put a couple of really, really good balls into the box. Nobody on the end of them. But I've never heard one some say he's good enough to be. He said he wants to play in Spain. Well, that's because he's maybe ambitious. You know, is he good enough? Absolutely, absolutely. There's no doubt. Carol Starfelt's playing in Spain, and he was written off after maybe about a game and a half for Celtic. Celtic fans wrote him off, and he's now playing in La Liga, a much higher level than the SPL. Palmer's a belter. There's no, there's no. He's an absolute belter. There's no, there's no doubt in my mind there. No doubt in my mind. All you have to do is watch him play football. He's a belter. He's probably the most technically gifted player in the team. The things that he can do with the ball, close control, his delivery. Him and Matt O'Reilly, frightening. They're on another scale. Watch them closely, mate. Honestly, they're on a totally different scale. Yeah, so would I, Maestro. Yep, so would I. I think he's excellent, mate. Yeah, I think he's excellent. I think he's that good. He reminds me of Riyad Mahrez. That's who he reminds me. He's just so effective in everything that he does. He's so unpredictable. I think defenders are scared of him as well when they go up against him. The big boy Mayo is the first defender I've seen actually try and get near him and be aggressive. I think he won a few tackles yesterday, but Palmer jinked in a couple of times and got a delivery away. He's good at 1-2s. Yeah, yeah. He's not a fast. He doesn't need to be fast, because he's effective in the game and other things that he does. He doesn't need to be blessed with pace. He's effective at other things, and he's a goal scorer. He was unlucky with one yesterday. He hit the post on his left foot. Another day that goes in. Apparently, Mikey Johnson's the most gifted, according to Roger. Yeah, he's technically gifted. Yeah, definitely. There is no listen. There is no getting away from that. He's technically gifted, Mikey Johnson. It's just the problem is with Mikey's the physicality of the game. He's miles off, and I think tactically he's still a mile off as well in terms of where he should be in certain moments off the ball when he's receiving the ball. I think, and at 24, if you're not quite there, then you're not going to be good enough at Celtic, I'm afraid. Good evening, Rebel. Is this Palmer you're talking about? He's not good enough off the ball to play as a 10? Because to play as a 10, you need to be effective with the ball. Your running movements become with the ball. No, you don't. There's no much movement from you off the ball. As long as you're in the right position and you get yourself into and you're tactically aware of the game. And that's something his IQ there's unreal. He's what mostly impressed me. I was at the game on Wednesday night, right? And any time he was getting the ball, he was 1 and 2 ahead of everything that he was doing. He knew exactly where the ball was going after he received it. And that's what I love about him. I think his IQ is unbelievable. And to be a number 10, you need to be very clever. You don't need to be fast. Lubo wasn't fast. Nakamura wasn't blessed with pace either. And these guys were able to be effective. You know, it's what you do with the ball as a 10. When you play as a 10, even in the modern game, you're asked to cover a certain area. And he's fit enough and physical enough to do it. There is no doubt there. To me personally, I think that's mental. I really do. I don't know how any Celtic fan can say that he's not done enough or he's not doing enough. Fair enough. I mean, that's your opinion there, but to me personally, I think that's mental. Um, he's he passes the ball like a midfielder. Uh, That's that's the beauty of having someone like that. And like I says, his football and IQ is unbelievable. I seen a comment. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can. The boy Armstrong would be a better shout than Johnson or Yang. Listen, I'm going to be honest. You know, people tend to get carried away when players play well. Gary Mackay-Steven played well against us. We signed him, and look what happened. The level's massive, massive. It's a massive jump for where Danny Armstrong's playing just now. I seen it today. Somebody was saying that he should be called up to the Scotland team. It's mental. Absolutely mental. Off the back of one performance, anybody can think that boy's then going to be good enough to play for the national team or to make the jump to come and play with the champions. On it, it is massive, by the way. Massive. Where he is, and you know, he might be in a good bit of form just now, lads, but I'm afraid Danny Armstrong's playing at his level just now. Right now, he's playing at his level. He might be a young boy, he might move on to other things, but Danny Armstrong becoming a Celtic player, never in a million years. Guys, we're asking for quality. Celtic fans are asking for quality. Players to take us to the next level, to take us on a level, to be better than probably what we have at the moment, or to come in and at least make that impact. Danny Armstrong's not going to come to Celtic and fill the Celtic fans with confidence. I really, I really, I'll never ever get my head around that. I really don't. Just off the back of one really good performance. We used to do this, guys. We used to do this years ago, years gone by. We signed people like Ulrich Lawson, Momo Silla. We tried to sign Darius Adamchuk. We even tried to sign Nacho Novo. He was at Celtic Park, for goodness sake. Just because they played well against us. It's mental. Absolutely mental. The one that I want to see is sign, and for different reasons, because obviously he's a ready-made player and he's proven that he can do both roles in terms of scoring goals in Europe and scoring in the league. I would love us to go and sign Miovski. I think Miovski's right now a better option than Big O. I think Bojan Miovski would give us more than Big O. Probably similar to Giacomakis, to be fair, folks. I think he's got all those kind of attributes. And I did say that last week when I was on as well. But for a player like Danny Armstrong, just off the back of a one performance against us, folks, I think that's, for me, that's just Looney. If Ryan was here, he'd probably agree with me. That's just Looney Tunes, in my opinion. We shouldn't be looking at Danny Armstrong. We should be looking for better than that in terms of maybe even better than Abada. That's where we are, folks. That's why we're here, because the next player that we bring in isn't up to that standard. He's no up to that. So we keep bringing in projects. We keep bringing in these guys that, oh, it's one for the future. I mean, that was one saying it used to really bug me under Gordon Strachan. You know, oh, he's up there for the future. He's one for it. When? When? We never saw. You can list millions of players we've signed that we've never saw. Look at Connell. Here's one we didn't see. We never seen. The other big boy, Ben Hutchinson. There's another one we never saw. There was loads of players that we've not seen. And you could go on and on and on and on and on about that. But off the back of one performance, Danny Armstrong's no good enough to play for Scotland or play for Celtic. That's madness, in my opinion, folks. Really is. The two of them are back in training, Maestro. But there's actually talk that one or two of them might even be ready to play against Hearts at the weekend. So we'll need to wait and see what's going to happen. But there's other players in the team just now that aren't good enough. You know, the boy Thiago Holmes had a couple of starts and been whipped off at half time, both or just after half time, and one at half time. He's not done enough. Then there's the boy Bernaby. No, we outlaid a good 3 and a bit million for him. No been seen. Personally, no been seen. I think Strathclyde Police have had more dealings with him than the Celtic fans have, to be honest with you. But no, I'm being honest. He's not been seen. He was on the bench again yesterday, but being on the bench once every 6, 7 weeks to me is not good enough. And long term, isn't going to be good enough moving forward. I think, the boy Bernardo, still don't know what he brings to the team. Thought he was tidy against Lazio, but then again, how many players have we got in the team that can be tidy? I think we need to start being honest. The recruitment wasn't where we all happened it would be in the summer, folks. Nowhere near it. We've got a guy Kwon, who to me, I think IKEA have seen him more times than what we have. Uh, the you know, it's baffling. It totally is. You talk about a guy that's coming from the other side of the world as well, and then having to, you know, fit into the lifestyle, fit into, but he's just not fitting in, or he's not doing something, or he's not physically ready, or he's not doing some, you know. Nah, as I say, it's. Um, I just think personally, it's a no brainer, but to try and move him out on loan, Kobayashi, exact same with him as well. Not good enough, too weak, no physical enough, and we're already moaning about being bullied. We've got players like that in the team. We've no chance, in my opinion. Then there's a David Turnbull. I know he scores goals, but does he do enough? I don't think he does, folks. I think he fades in certain games. Good player, very good player. I think he'd be more suited maybe to playing abroad, maybe in Italy or something like that. A bit more slower tempo wise, and he could get involved a bit more. But he's going to be looking at that as well, because I think David must have aspirations to be playing for the Scotland national team. He must be looking at players like Lewis Ferguson, who's doing well, and you know, um, and seeing that as a kind of a footnote to then kicking on himself and doing that, folks. So yeah, there's a lot of players, that are in my opinion, are surplus to requirements, and we need better. We deserve better. No, we pay a lot of money every year to go and see the team, and we support the team every year, and we do deserve better. I mean, you've got a manager like Brendan Rodgers. You should be your aspirations should be to go and get the very best, to give yourselves the best chance. Like I says, we can't send a guy like that into Europe, or a captain like Callum McGregor into Europe with a team full of guys that might be ready in 2, 3 year time. That's no good to nobody. That's no good to nobody. Um, yeah, mate, he could very well be. He could very well be. Uh, John, listen. When I caught him, we Oxo, mate, he was banging for him. He's certainly doing his very best to lose that label very quickly, and I can't disagree, mate. I think he's not been up to it. His performances, he gets pushed about like a wee boy sometimes. He's not physical enough. Europe, he's like a man, a fish out of water. And then domestically now, I think teams are just directly going up against him, sending up Lewis Miller up against him. It's just a mismatch every time. So he's just not informed, mate. So I'll call it as it is. I wouldn't say there's so many players needed. I would, there's still a very good squad there. Um, we definitely need a goalkeeper. Alistair Johnson's still fine. Carter Vickers is still fine. We need to find someone to play alongside him. That's the key. To do it a bit more longer term. Um, is Liam Scales a man to take us forward? Some people may have their doubts. After yesterday and the way that we conceded that second goal, for me, he's got to do better. He's got to go out and close his man down. I know he's not wanting to maybe lose position, but when there's a guy behind you playing everybody on side as well, that's just criminal. A guy that's supposed to be a bit more experienced as well. That's just, to me, that's just criminal. That just sells you down the Swanee. But Liam Scales has got to do better in the second goal for me. He's got to get out and close his man. Um, but in terms of players, I think we need another winger. I think we need another centre forward, and I think we need a left back, and we need a goalkeeper. And I think those over the next 2 windows need to need to be addressed, and I hope they are addressed. If not, then we're going to be having these conversations for quite some time, folks. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for everyone that's come on and joined me this evening. I know it can't be easy sitting listening to one guy just chatting on and bumping his gums, but I've done my best, folks, to come on tonight and still give you something to tune into and um, get your gums around. I know somebody else likes that phrase, so that's why I threw that one in there as well. Uh, like I says, folks, I hope you all are all well. I hope you're all keeping well. Um, cheers, Dave. Thank you very much. If you're new to the channel, Dave, please like and subscribe, mate. You will get notifications when the page is ready to go live, when it's got any changes coming up, when any sort of. We are on all social media platforms, mate. Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, also. So we're on all of them, folks. Just before we finish up, as I always do, just to let you all know, folks, if you're new to the podcast is sponsored by AB Entertainment. AB stands for a Mr. Alec Beveridge. Alec's a DJ, and it's a DJ and entertainment company, folks. So again, if anybody's looking for any entertainment at all, any sort of parties, any sort of, I don't know, functions, anything at all, yep, here's your man here. The number there, if you can't see it, is 07845 If any of you want to get in contact with him, you can also hit him up on the WhatsApp through that also, folks. He is available on Facebook and Instagram as well, and he will get back to your messages. What I will say, folks, is he's fully booked now over the festive period, and he won't be available now until 2024. So if anybody's got a party coming up soon, I do apologise. All the bookings have been taken for this year, but his diary is open for 2024, and that says get your requests in. I'm pretty sure he'll take your requests on board. Again, folks, thank you very much. Well done, JP. Done well, JP. Ah, well. Well, thank you very much. Sometimes it's cheers, John. Thank you very much, mate. And yes, Barry, I'm away to give myself a wee scrub, mate, make myself nice and smooth. But listen, yous all take care. Hope you're all wrapped up. Still pretty cold around Glasgow. And I hope you're all getting yourselves and your families all sorted. Looking forward to Christmas. The ones who are, and obviously ones who aren't, then you can still enjoy our big faces at some point. We'll be keeping you going, hopefully over the festive period. Maybe not Christmas Day right enough because that falls on a Monday, so I'm afraid we'll be busy that day. But this podcast is back on this coming Wednesday at the earlier time of 11:30 a.m. It'll be myself, Ryan, and maybe even Big Alan. Maybe me sombrero and a wee glass of sangria if he's just half his plane or no. But yeah, folks, hope you're all well. Take care and a massive hail. I'll see you on Wednesday, folks. Okay, bye bye.